verse 12. إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين. So if you look at the translation for verse 12, truly we give life to the dead and record that which they have sent forth and that which they have left behind, and we have counted all things in a clear registry. You read this and you say, oh, well, okay, so why is this so important? What type of discussion could this have inspired? Well, read it again. Truly we give life to the dead and record that which they have sent forth. What have they sent forth? What do the dead send forth? In Arabic, وَنَكْتُبُ مَا قَدَّمُوا وَأَثَارَهُمْ. Okay, so the dead have ma qaddamu, and there's a big grammatical debate that I'm not going to get into. Is ma qaddamu means what they've done or what they in fact have put forward in life? There's a big debate. Wa atharahum. Athar is what you leave behind. So when Allah says, I write what you leave behind, what does that mean? I document your legacy. Al-Athar, when you visit the ancient remains in Egypt, the pharaohs, that we call that visiting the Athar. Athar is what you leave behind. So, as Muslim theologians said, okay, so hold on. It's not just recording your deeds, but it's recording the legacy that you left behind on earth after you've gone. What type of moral example did you set? If you take the most, silly example, right? You're an actor who, in my language, I call it, you were balbus. Balbus means you took off your clothes all the time, right? So you have made 30 films and you're naked in your 30 films. What is your athar here? The 30 films in which you are balbus. And the athar are the impact of the 30 films of balbusness. And whatever these athar are. Now, take a less blunt example. What type of life have you lived? And what type of example have you left behind? So, when Muslim theologians make a very long story short, paused at this and said, oh my Lord, wait. It is not just about recording our deeds. It's about what calligraphy we left behind, what architecture we left behind. For some, like Imam Shirazi, what music we left behind. What have you left behind? Surah Yasin says, insan, human beings, understand, if you lived a life of the living dead, as we'll see, that you were a mukmah, you walked around like a zombie. The image of a zombie actually fits really well. Your head held high, but you don't see anything. And you allowed these veils to accumulate around you, and you went just in life, eating like an animal, consuming, spending money, filling your stomach, going to the bathroom, taking showers, taking baths, copulating, but you just lived a life. But you didn't think about your athar, then we're in trouble. Imam al-Shirazi in particular, I want to introduce you to a part of the Islamic tradition that sadly has been forgotten by the moderns, and it often, that part of the Islamic tradition, when you encounter it when Muslim theologians are discussing Surah Yasin verse 12, but Surah Yasin in general. I mean, I'm just, verse 12 is the launching point for that debate or for that discussion. And the reason I want to introduce you to it, because it's not just fascinating, but it's actually quite mind-blowing. If you look at Imam al-Shirazi's tafsir in this ayah, on this surah, on this ayah, you'll find that Imam al-Shirazi citing the Greek philosopher Pythagoras, not something very consistent with Wahhabi Islam of today, right? He cites the Greek philosopher Pythagoras to make what point? Imam al-Shirazi belonged to the school of thought that said that explored the process of creation of shackles and veils. And to summarize what they argued is that they said, I'm sorry, just for those who know Arabic, I'll just say it very quickly. كل من اقترف معصية حصل من ذلك أثر في نفسه وحدث فيها حال وكيفية نفسانية إذا تكررت الأفاعيل وتكثرت الأقاويل استحكمت الآثار في النفس فصارت ملكات بعدما كانت أحوال. So this is very quickly just for the benefit of the Arabis. So what is that? He's saying the problem is that when you commit a sin or you do something good, either way, it is as if the wiring of your brain changes. So initially, your very perceptions in life, the way you see things, are shaped and crafted by whether you choose to do good or you choose to do bad. And it is, the more you do it, the more it moves from the realm of a habitual occurrence to changing your very nature. In the language that I use, we say it changes your aura. But what Shirazi is talking about is that, listen, if you think that your behavior doesn't adjust your perception of reality, your consciousness, you're wrong. And that is why Allah, for instance, decreed prayer. It is to try to create these neurological pathways in your brain that prevent you from going completely off the deep end. At least, something is held together in your consciousness if you're doing a lot of wrong. But there's even something more, is that they believed that when you did good or bad, you in fact created energy. And this energy became like like an animated organism. So if you talk to Shirazi, he would tell you, a lot of people create their own demons. Why do you create your own demons? Because when you do things that are ugly, you're actually creating a ball of energy that is animated, that is dark, that will haunt you. And that will haunt you, and that demons then use against you. But it is your monster. And in the same vein, you create your own positive energy, your own angel, if you will, that aids you and blesses you. So they believed in what they call al-ajsam al-hulamiyya, holographic beings. And it is your deeds that create that energy that aids you towards goodness, and the energy that oppresses you towards evil. And that is why people who commit a lot of sin, it's not only becomes easier for them to do more and more sin, it becomes even harder for them to stop doing it. Because now they're haunted by an animated darkness that will not leave them alone. And it takes a lot of hard work to cleanse that darkness, to kill it, if you want to change. And, they go at great lengths about that. This is what Surah Yasin is talking about when it's alerting you to the state of shackles, the state of sudud, the state of iqham, fahum muqmahun, that, if you only see the material world, all of this you will not understand. If you only understand the material world, you have no access to spirituality, to the world that surrounds you. And as we'll see, even the jinn, because the Surah Yasin is conscious of the fact that those who are muqmahun will say, what jinn? We don't see jinn. But they surround you everywhere. In the same way that angels surround you everywhere. In the same way that gravity surrounds you everywhere. Energy surrounds you everywhere. Things that you don't see all the time surround you.